we got mostly moved in today. We just dropped off the truck about an hour ago. Went to the adjacent Target, which is connected to its own parking garage, which is new for us, and got some rugs and such. And Anna is experiencing South Florida traffic, which is terrible. And like people who drive on the shoulders of roads for miles and cut you off and never use blinkers. This place is wild.
Look at the city skyline.
Look at the city skyline.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks great on the other side of that concrete barrier.
You know, I don't think I'm supposed to be in this lane that I'm in right now.
I don't know.
Ever felt that way?
I feel that way all the time. I mean, we kind of expected it to be crazy, but this is like way more. Another level, way more than any of us are used to. I mean, we've driven through places like Atlanta and New Orleans, but
Birmingham,
we didn't live there.
Yeah, we didn't have to live in it.
And of course, something had to go wrong, and it did. So we left to go to lunch because we got there right at lunchtime, and I really had to eat before we unloaded the truck. We got to Publix and we were talking about doing some laundry, and I said, wait a minute, where's our washer and dryer? When we think about it, we're like, I don't remember seeing one. And we go back to the house, no washer dryer. So luckily my sister is about an hour away on a good day without traffic, so we can do laundry there. But Anna would prefer to get our own set and, you know, take with us when we move, which makes sense in the long term, because I mean, I'd rather not have to, you know, spend 2 hours a week driving plus the 2 hours it takes to do the laundry. So that's most of a day killed every week. But I also I'm not trying to get a washer and dryer like today, just because we've spent so much money in the process of moving, and trying to limit that, or at least spread it out after she and I both start getting paid. And speaking of getting paid, of course there's a problem with that too. I called USF to verify that my course load would be enough to get full BAH, and they're like, yeah, you'll get full BAH, but only for half a summer. And I was like, what? And sure enough, all of my classes were only in the first mini-mester, or micro semester, whatever they call them. I'm sure they call them different things at different places, but all of my classes were only in the first 6 weeks, so I would have gone 6 weeks without $1,200 a month, or not $1,200, $2,000.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money I didn't want to miss out on. So I tried to get another class, and there was availability, but I have to wait for them to get my final transcript from Auburn before I can register for that class, because the class I just took is a prereq for that class. So hopefully I'll get in there before the time comes, but I don't imagine a whole ton of people are taking differential equations. I don't know. And here we are. So finally got the office functional, but it's not where it needs to be. Let me show you what I mean. This is the current state of affairs. And my desk. So not optimal, but it's enough to get going. This past week has been crazy. Finally got internet, obviously. Got all of our electricity and water and all that stuff. And I've just been basically running errands and buying groceries and all that stuff over again, getting stuff situated. It's really weird to live in a house after living in relatively small quarters for so long, and having all this extra space. It's really nice. But yeah, and then today we're gonna go back to Gainesville for Mother's Day dinner with Anna's parents. We're not gonna stay there overnight just because we don't want to have to take the dog, so we're gonna leave him here, and basically 4 or 5 hours after we left, so he won't have been in his crate more than like 6 to 8 hours, which I'm fine with. That's an average day for him. And then gotta get ready for classes. I gotta try and register for more classes for summer B so I can get BAH, because that's a big thing. But yeah, like I said, we've been running a lot of errands and stuff, and of course half the time we don't bring a list, or we make a list and forget it, so we don't get half the things we need. And so we have to go back and we have to determine what store we want to go to because we became Costco members. So do we want to go to Costco, Walmart, Target, Publix? Because all of those things are within 3.5 miles of us. And Publix is a mile. Walmart is next to Publix. It's crazy how much there is of stuff and how close it is all together. It's all like jam up, which is really convenient because you never have to ask yourself whether or not that store exists. You just have to wonder whether it's 1 mile or 4 miles. You know, nothing's ever very far away because there's always 10 of each one. There's probably 4 Costco's in Tampa alone. I don't know. I know there's certainly probably 6 or 7 Publixes though, at least. I mean, there were 4 Publixes in Gainesville, and Gainesville is like a quarter the size of Tampa or less. I think Tampa has like 300,000 people. Tampa or Gainesville maybe has like 80 or 90,000. I don't know. But today we still have more errands to do. Couple last few things, then I gotta get situated for class Monday. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna park, figure out how long my commute time is. Sometime probably this morning I'll try and time that. But Anna had to drive there for a meeting because she's doing research with one of the professors there while she's working, just so that she can, you know, stay in the game until she's ready to do her PhD. She said it was about 20 minutes with moderate traffic, so that's not too bad. I've certainly done worse when I was commuting to AUM, and it was 50 minutes on a good day. So I'm totally fine with that. The dog seems to be pretty happy. He gets a backyard all to himself. I let the cat out there a couple times, and he's curious, but like really hesitant about it, which isn't surprising. I mean, he's never been outside off a leash, and it's never been more than like 10 feet from the house or the apartment. So it's pretty amusing to watch. And he will hear a squirrel and get like all wigged out about it. It's going pretty well considering all the, you know, potential speed bumps we had. For whatever reason, my computer is just getting increasingly slow. The video before this one was, how long was it? It was 14 minutes, and it took basically 5 times that, over an hour just to render. And luckily I have Anna's computer stand here, which has built-in fans, and it helps keep it cool, which I think helps a little bit, but it still gets really, really hot, and it makes it really hard to multitask. I can hardly do YouTube and surf just really like non-intensive web pages like Google or Microsoft Word or something like that. So that's probably going to affect my workflow a little bit. You know, how laggy Movie Maker is becoming, and how long it takes to render is just killer. It's gonna get to the point where I have to do that overnight. I don't know, this computer is only a 2014 or 2015 even, I think early 2015, so it's hardly 3 years old, and it's still having trouble. But I don't know if that's just, I don't know what to attribute that to. I don't know if my computer's just getting gummed up with other stuff, but I try and make sure the RAM is as open as possible. I don't leave other programs open while I render. Spotify, Word, like literally nothing. The way it goes, or what? I might have to have a computer nerd look at it, because I'm not good with that kind of stuff. Knowing me, I'll accidentally delete the operating system or something. Maybe in a year or two, and it becomes basically impossible to render, I don't know how I feel about it right now, but maybe do a GoFundMe or a Patreon for a brief time. I don't know. That really obviously really depends on what viewership turns into and what subscribership turns into. I don't know. That's way far down the road. I don't know. It's just a passing thought. Anyhow, with this new school, new professors, new classes, I'm sure I'll have plenty to say about them. So be on the lookout for a little more regularity. I know it's been kind of haphazard the last 3 weeks to a month. No real way around that, but just with finals and moving on top of each other is kind of nuts. But otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.